All right, let's talk about a real powerhouse duo in the world of coding, Python and MongoDB. We're going to break down exactly how this dream team works together to build some really amazing things. So, to help us out, let's meet our builders, Liam and Tia. They're taking on a huge project, a digital library for their whole school. And for that, they're using a winning combination. Just think of it like this. Python is the smart brain making all the decisions, and MongoDB, well, that's the super flexible warehouse where they store everything. Okay, first up, let's get to know the first member of our dream team, Python. This is the brains of the entire operation. Python is in charge of something called back-end logic. Now, I know that sounds a little complicated, but don't worry, it's really just all the smart rules and calculations that are happening behind the scenes. It's kind of like the engine of a car. You don't really see it working, but you know it's doing all the heavy lifting to make things go. Okay, so we're calling Python the brain. But what does that actually mean when you're building something? Let's look at a perfect example from Liam and Tia's library project. Let's say a student returns a book late. The library needs a rule to figure out the fine, right? Well, this is exactly where Python, our brain, steps in. If you look at the code here, you can see this little function. All it does is take the number of days a book is late, multiplies it by the fine per day, and poof, it knows the total. That's Python's logic right there in action. And boom, the brain does its job. For a book that's 7 days late, at 5 rupees a day, the fine is 35 rupees. See? Python just took a rule, applied it to a situation, and gave us a clear, simple answer. That's the real power of back-end logic. Awesome. So we've met the brain. Now, every brain needs a place to store its information, right? Let's check out the warehouse. Say hello to MongoDB, the super flexible storage system for our library. You know, in the old days, databases were kind of like really strict spreadsheets. Every single item had to have the exact same columns. Imagine what a nightmare that would be for a library. A physical book needs a shelf number, right? But an ebook needs a file path. A rigid system just can't handle that kind of difference very well. But MongoDB is totally different. It stores information in these flexible things called documents. Here, have a look at the document for a physical book. It's got fields like shelf_number and copies_available, details that only make sense for a real physical object. Now check out the document for an ebook. You'll notice right away it has completely different fields like file path and download limit. And here's the most important part. Both of these very different items can live happily together in the same database. That's MongoDB's superpower, total flexibility. And this is exactly why Tia loves it so much. Like she says, if they decide later to add audiobooks, they don't have to rebuild the entire system. Nope, they just create a new kind of document with whatever new fields they need, like maybe narrator or audio length. It's totally future-proof. So, we have the smart brain, Python, and the flexible warehouse, MongoDB. But you know, the real magic, the truly amazing part, happens when they start talking to each other. So picture this. A student just finished reading Cosmic Adventures, and they absolutely loved it. They go into the app and tap that 5-star rating. So what happens next? Well, first, that action gets sent off. Then Python, our brain, catches that signal and knows exactly what to do with it. And finally, Python sends a direct instruction to MongoDB, the warehouse, to save that shiny new rating. And this right here is what that command actually looks like in code. This single line of Python is like a direct order. It's telling MongoDB, hey, go find the book with the title Cosmic Adventures, and then $push the number 5 into its list of ratings. It's a super clear instruction from the brain to the warehouse. And just like that, it's done, instantly. The book's record in the database is updated with that new rating. This seamless, super fast communication is what makes modern apps feel so alive and responsive. That's the dream team in action. Okay, so you've seen how Liam and Tia did it. You've seen the magic. Now, it's your turn to be the builder. And we've got 2 simple challenges to get you started. First, try writing a simple Python function of your own. How about one that calculates your age in days? And for the second challenge, let's think like MongoDB. Try describing your favorite movie or video game character using that flexible document format. What kind of fields would you use to describe them? So what's the big takeaway here? If you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this simple idea. Python is the smart brain that handles all the rules and all the logic, and MongoDB is the flexible warehouse that can store anything you can possibly throw at it. When you put them together, you can build almost anything you can imagine. The only question left is, what will you build?